Alright, so I finally got to drive a car I've wanted to drive for a very long time, and that was the Bugatti Chiron Supersport. Now, I didn't necessarily want to drive a Supersport specifically for a long time, but just a Bugatti in general. Now, this was a pretty incredible opportunity, and I was able to get the recording from when I did it, but I wasn't really doing it as a YouTube review. I was just kind of driving it, taking in the experience, so I didn't really talk too much throughout the video of me driving the Bugatti itself. And I'm going to insert some of those clips in here, but I wanted to kind of break down my thoughts as just a regular person who got to drive a Bugatti Chiron Supersport. My name is Brett Kennedy, and you're watching the Chooches. That turbo noise is awesome.
Yeah, the turbo.
It is crazy how little you got to give it there just for that to start.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like, 10 throttle. That is unbelievable. It's crazy how good the handling is. You don't even feel like you're going through the corner.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You can feel the wheel spin a little there too, and it was still going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the feeling of the effortlessness too. You know,
Yeah.
you'd think you feel the engine that big working so hard.
Yeah, no, it's just like it's quiet too.
Yeah, yeah. Just gonna roll on it a little bit. Yeah, it's crazy the 16 cylinders, how you just don't even how smooth the power is. You know, I thought that with the V12 and the Aston.
Yeah.
But it's like it's crazy with 16 cylinders. I don't even feel. That is awesome, man. That is awesome. That is unbelievable how quick that gets to illegal speeds. Yeah, it is unbelievable how easy it is just to like
Yeah.
like you said, it almost feels like you're just driving like a regular sports car, you know?
Yeah.
Until you feel the 1600 horsepower. Yeah, it rides crazy good.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't expect a sports car to ride as smooth as it does.
Yeah.
All-wheel drive is pretty nuts too. We can feel it, just like, no issues with the grip. It all feels so well. But I mean, that's the thing. It doesn't feel like anything crazy, but it feels so well built.
Yeah.
Like but it doesn't feel like it's like the most difficult thing to do. It's pretty easy just to.
Yeah. Exactly.
I thought it'd be a lot more intimidating, honestly. All right, so driving the Bugatti was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So I actually got this opportunity courtesy of the Hamilton Collection. Their YouTube channel out of Illinois, they're in the Chicagoland area, and they do 30-minute rentals on some of their cars. And they're probably some of the only people renting some of the cars that they have. You know, the Chiron, they have a Koenigsegg Regera, just a whole bunch of other crazy cars. They're always buying and selling new cars. And they will occasionally post 30-minute rentals on their Instagram to drive one of these cars. Now, this is something that I saw and I wanted to do, and even though it is kind of expensive, you can't rent cars like that, right? I mean, there's nobody else in the world that's probably renting a Chiron Supersport, so just to even have the opportunity to rent something like that is pretty incredible. So I did the rental, and I got 30 minutes in the car with one of the members of the Hamilton team, Henry, and it was... it's hard to even explain because you go into it with, it's like don't meet your heroes, right? You're worried that what if the car is not what it is? But I can tell you that car was probably the most incredible car I may ever drive in my life, if we're being completely honest. So for one, the power. 1,600 metric horsepower, that's like 1,579, whatever it is, US horsepower. It's a stupid amount of power, way more than you can even comprehend. After I drove that Chiron, the next day I went to Cars and Coffee in my Viper, which is 400 horsepower, and it felt so unbelievably slow. And if you watch in the video of me driving the Chiron, you see my shoulders compressing, like the face I make, I look like an idiot. But it is just unfathomable how much power that had. The way you feel that push into your whole body. And that car, I mean, the numbers that are coming onto the speedometer don't even seem real. It seems like in a video game or something. It is just so quick to accelerate. And it's truly unbelievable. And in tying with that, you have the engine. I mean, it's a 16-cylinder quad turbocharged engine. Driving a 16-cylinder, that's crazy in and of itself, right? But the power delivery, it's just so unbelievably smooth with that many cylinders. And then on top of that, you have the 4 turbos, and there's no turbo lag. I mean, you put your foot into it, the second it drops the gear, you have the power. You're not sitting there waiting for the power to build, which is pretty incredible in and out of itself. And, the one thing I didn't do, which I kind of wish I would have, I never messed with the paddles on it, just because, once again, I was just focused on driving the car. I really wanted to make sure I was enjoying it to the fullest. But I didn't even think about doing the paddles while I was actually driving it. And I kind of wish I would have, just to see how quick it responded. But just putting your foot into it, the transmission dropped the gears very quickly. And it was pretty incredible. The other thing that is crazy about a car like that is just the build quality, right? I mean, you sit in that car and, their spec, it's a Grigio Celeste, which is a Murcielago color over this, I think it's called tangerine, bright orange leather interior. And you sit in and everything is gorgeous. The leather's gorgeous. The carbon fiber is all perfect. They had the black anodized aluminum accents. I mean, the car, there's the sense of occasion in it was absolutely incredible. And obviously you expect that for a car of that caliber, but just seeing that in the flesh is pretty special. And it was something that you definitely noticed, just sitting in there and kind of taking it all in. Handling wise, the car handled, the steering feel was absolutely phenomenal. Now, it is a heavy car, but you didn't feel the weight. Obviously when you have that kind of power, it kind of negates any heaviness that you may feel driving the car. But it stayed incredibly flat in the corners, which was impressive to me considering how well it rode. And people always said, and even the gentleman I rode with, Henry, from the Hamilton collection, he mentioned it's like a Bentley. And it's a weird thing to say when you're talking about a sports car, but it's true. It rides so unbelievably well that, it feels like you're in a luxury car, and then you take the corner, and it's got unbelievable, it stays unbelievably flat. It's amazing to me that they're even able to make that. You kind of get the best of both worlds, and that was pretty cool too. Braking-wise, the Chiron Supersport has the biggest brakes on any production car, 9-piston front calipers, which felt great. I didn't get to a situation where I had to really use the brakes that hard, but the brake pedal feels great. They are carbon ceramics, so you do hear the noise from the brake pedals a little bit, but that's with any carbon ceramic brake. And it was just overall, the driving experience is what you expect. The thing that's incredible with the Bugattis is that it's almost like a normal car when you're driving it slow. Like it's you're not feeling like you're super compromised. You get into some other cars and it's like it's very obvious that you're in something that's crazy and it's brutal and it's a lot to take in. Where obviously I'm in a bright orange interior. Yeah, that's crazy, but like it's nice, it's quiet, it's comfortable, and you're not giving up any sacrifices by being in this crazy sports car. It feels like you have all the amenities that you would expect, and that really is just an incredible feeling in a car of that nature. Now, the other thing that you have to think about when you're driving a car like that is the value of the car. I've driven some nice cars before. I've been very fortunate to, but this is another level. This car, the sticker price on it, it's a 2024 or 2023, I don't remember which one. It's $4.1 million. That's insane for one car. There's so many. If you give me $4.1 million, I could build a pretty incredible car collection. So for this to be consolidated into one car, it's pretty insane. And I was a little worried about it going into it, but I will say, once I got behind the wheel of that car, that kind of went out of my head. Like I said, it drives so composed that it doesn't feel as intimidating as you may think it would feel. If you sit there and think about the value, maybe it would be intimidating. I tried not to think about it while I was driving because I didn't want to tweak myself out. But it was just so composed. And even like when I was accelerating in it, it never even remotely scared me. There was even a time where the road was a little rough, and we're getting some wheel spin. The traction light was blipping, but the car still accelerated through it, and it never got squirrely. It was so unbelievably planted. And everybody that I've talked to says that car, that's experienced that car at high speeds, it accelerates continuously through it, and it's stable continuously through it. There's never a time where that car starts to get scary on you. And I don't even know if you could say that about a Pagani or a Koenigsegg. I've never heard the same remarks be said about those cars, where I have a lot with the Bugattis in general, the Veyron and the Chiron. And the last thing is, the attention that car gets. I wasn't really paying too much attention to those around me, but you can tell it gets a lot of attention. It almost felt like people were moving out of my way, which is pretty insane. But the attention was incredible that car commands. And it was actually funny. We had to stop and get gas. I was the last person that rented it of that day. We had to stop at the gas station at the end. And you know, there's two things you think about. One, that this car is probably worth more than this gas station that we're pumping it in. But two, I mean, it felt so surreal. Like you never see these cars on the road. And you know, Bugatti is one of those brands. It's borderline unobtainium. Like you never see them running around really. It's so rare to even have the opportunity to be around one or sit in one or you know, especially drive one, and then just to be sitting here at some random gas station filling it up. It was kind of a surreal moment. I think that was the moment that it actually hit me the most, and it was kind of funny because there was a girl at the gas station that very pretty, but she gave me the dirtiest look, and I think she thought I was like the biggest tool in the world when we were pulling out of the gas station, which was kind of funny. But overall, I mean, I think that it was an experience that I'll never forget. I mean, you know, as someone that's as into cars as I am, buying cars all the time, I work in the car industry, you know, you sometimes become used to it, right? Like, you know, cars that were special to me even 5 years ago, I see now and I'm not as excited. I mean, as I sit here in this DB9, you know, this is a very cool car, but, you know, I've lived with it. I've put almost 2,000 miles on it. You do get used to it to a level, a sense. But with that car, I mean, that car felt true, like I was truly doing something special. And it's been a long time since I've been in a car where it just felt like that big of a deal. And that was something that I think that made that experience overall very special. So I'm very thankful to the Hamilton Collection for even offering this opportunity. And you know, my review of the Bugatti Chiron Supersport would be, it is absolutely incredible. Nothing will ever come close. Now, that being said, no car is perfect. And if I had to knock it on one thing, it would be rearward visibility. Now, the mirror itself, you can see kind of bad. You get a horrible blind spot in the right there, and that's not ideal. The side mirrors are also really small, which I'm sure is an aero thing. But with that being said, when you have 1,600 metric horsepower, you can kind of just put your foot into it and you'll blast past anybody that might even remotely be in your blind spot. So I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of quick review. I know this wasn't ideal, wasn't like what we would normally do where I'm driving in that actual car. But like I said, I just wanted to enjoy the experience and kind of give you guys a recap of what that was. So thank you guys for watching. Please see us in the next video, and we'll see you next time.